What's up? What's up? All right, here we. I think we just gonna get started and wait for her to tell us if she can hear us or not.
Right.
We have a lot to talk about today. We got bears in Roanoke, Smith Mountain Lake talking about the green algae again, and we haven't been able to get Seth in there to do anything with
check it.
Yeah. So who knows? Miss Little Bit, can you hear us? I know we got 3 viewers, 1 on Facebook. So a little low on the volume, so let's up the volume a little bit here.
Pump up the volume.
Let's see here. How about now? Is that a lot better or is that too loud?
Can you hear me now?
That's better? All right. Loud and clear from Gus. Gus he was here last week. That's the guy from New Jersey. Yeah.
Nice.
We invited him to come down and have hot dogs with us or something, right?
Hell, next time when I go into the Salem Fair, I'm going to fill out a bingo card for Gus.
That's right. Good Lord. And
give him a shot to win.
We are definitely working on the bingo cards. So if you have any ideas of what we should put on the card, I think we have a little kid with a mullet, family with matching outfits,
right?
Somebody in all camo,
right? Somebody said shots fired, but that's going to be hard to get pictures of.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. And this year they have, they're wanding people. When you bring in backpacks, you have to have clear backpack and things like that.
Right.
They've upped the security because last year some team decided he wanted to be a fool and shoot at people.
Right, on opening night.
On opening night, yeah, right. It's awful. Oh, well. I'm told that it's too loud and to back away from the mic. My wife's on here tonight. Watching it on Facebook.
Hi, Miss Selena.
Is that better? The reverb's bad. Let me see.
Give us a little growing pains. We moved into a slightly smaller studio and set it up in a week. So,
is that a little bit better? She said, "Hi, JR." She said it's better.
Okay.
We'll get better at this. We did move to a new studio. It's a little closer to Roanoke.
Yeah.
So we set this up in a week, and our background and everything will look a lot better as we move forward.
Oh, absolutely.
But a lot easier to get here than getting up there.
Oh, without a doubt. It's just so much better traffic.
Yeah, I agree, and it's closer to home, and I can be home in about 5 minutes or so.
Right.
Right. So for those who don't know us, I'm Rob Jesse, and this is J.R. Roger.
Good morning.
He's the bomb.com. He's a guy that if you need, trying to get this comment off here for Selena. He's a guy that if you need something, he'll come out and do it. It doesn't matter how hot it is, if it's raining, pouring, tornado.
How you want it done.
That's right. That's awesome. So how'd your week go?
Not too bad. Got it clear to close. Got everything good to go.
All right. So Miss Ellen,
the kids are behaving.
Good. Clear to close. Miss Ellen's our your client.
Right.
She lives up in Catawba. It's Roanoke County part, but
good girl.
Oh yeah, she has so much going on in her life.
God,
She's graduating from
just graduated from dental hygiene school.
Getting married
this weekend.
And
I think.
Sold her house and closing next week on that.
Yep,
So
she has to wait for her honeymoon till Tuesday clears.
Kayla said hello, Roberto and JR. So my week was I had to swim in because of all the stupid rain.
Yeah, when does I'm kind of new here. When does the dry season come back?
I don't know that it does. We get spells where it'll be months without rain, it seems.
Right.
And then sometimes we feel like little Portland, Oregon or Seattle or something. We get all the rain. And what's so bad, I think, is that last week, and part of our podcast was muted because I didn't unmute anything.
Right.
But so last week I put down 4 tons of dirt tamped it down as I got it out there, tamped it. Well, all this rain, and I got the pool.
Out at 51.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm too old for this. My elbows hurt now. So tamped it down, put the pool up. Everything looked good, pretty even. I mean, it's not exact, and that's not my job to. I don't do that typically.
Right.
I'm
not a pool guy.
Pretty even. So we set it up, and then all of this rain came. Well, my daughter yesterday, in between rains, I read on TikTok. We do everything on TikTok, right?
Right.
They've surpassed Google as far as search engines now. But somebody puts pool noodles around. It's an out-of-ground pool, so they put pool noodles around, and it protects the vinyl on the edges where that metal is.
Right.
And so it doesn't deteriorate as much.
Oh, okay.
So Tegan and Selena were out there yesterday in between rains. Well, Tegan went almost knee deep in the mud. So now,
no other way.
Yep. So now every time I look out, I'm just like, oh my gosh, is the pool going to be down on the ground, or is it going to tip? I don't even know. It's one of them big 18-foot pools too.
Right.
So it's a lot of water.
Well, because you tried to keep her from getting drowned at farm school on Wednesday, so
right.
You tried to drown her in the mud.
And your wife said your roof can't take much more rain. I don't know that ours can either. Maybe that's the next thing I learn is to install roofs. We'll do our own roofs together.
We're mixing and patching our roof all over. You know, in the next 5 years, we'll have a new roof. It'll have cost $10,000 more than it would have if we had just gone, hey, how much for a new roof?
Mm-hmm. And I think with our house, we bought it. We knew that we needed work done. So we absolutely knew we needed work done. We bought it. And that's why we got it for, tax assessment. I mean, we got a good deal on it.
Right.
But right before COVID, we were already in motion to get new siding, get new windows, get a new roof. COVID hit, messed us all up. So now then we're like, okay, I think, 6 months ago, we were like, okay, we're going to get an equity line now.
Right.
Get this done.
Right.
Well, then we had to get a brand new car. I don't know if you've looked at the interest rates on cars now. Good Lord. The $500 payment for just a regular car, a new car, but that's a lot of money.
Well, and I haven't checked in the last month or two. Hopefully the prices have come down, but I know they're for probably darn near a year. If you were going to get a used car, may as well just pay the extra $7,000, get a new car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At least that comes with a warranty.
Absolutely.
But I mean, used cars were going for almost as much as the new version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And we started looking because my van broke down too during this whole time.
Right.
And it was a used van, so we started looking at cars, and they were just, a used 2008 was like $25,000.
Right.
So I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
No, that's got more miles than my van did.
Yeah. It's crazy but I think used cars have started coming way down. I read a thing the other day that there were like 20,000 electric cars sitting in some field in China now.
Oh, cool.
Where they've kind of just retired them or whatever they did, and they're just sitting in fields. And so I hope, us going towards electric, and we don't have the grid for that, but us moving towards electric, I don't think that, I hope that's not how we dispose of those electric cars.
I agree.
We just leave them in open fields somewhere.
Right. Oh, there's a local racetrack that wants 5 of them.
Right.
That they will start their own class. Donate your.
Mm-hmm. So we got our car at Haley.
Okay.
We got our last one at Hart, and we've been really happy with them up until the point of Selena's Kia having warranty issues and but our Haley guy, his name was WJ.
Okay.
It's hard. It doesn't flow well.
Right.
But
JW flows much better.
It does.
Go ahead. Change. It doesn't cost that much to get your name changed.
But the dude was awesome. I mean, he got a bunch of cars for us to drive, and then he actually brought, when we picked one, he actually had it cleaned up and brought to our house for us to sign the paper. We didn't have to go out to Haley. We didn't have to nothing. He brought all the stuff to us.
Now that's top notch.
Yeah.
That's top.
Had us sign it, and then made sure everything was set, and he's checked in several times to make sure that we're still good. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I would
Then-
100% recommend WJ.
I rescind my statement. Y'all go check out WJ
And Haley Toyota, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Selena said yes. WJ was awesome. Your wife said that she loves Haley too.
Yeah, she's had good luck with Haley.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And talking, I mean, we were talking about roofs and cars and repairs and things like that. I think over the last probably 15 years, we've really gone away from people learning trades. You know?
Without question.
I mean,
without question.
my wife, she does bookkeeping for a windows and siding company, and they do roofs and everything like that. They can't find people to work, and the people that know it are usually they're not real good workers. You know,
Right. The young. Yeah.
Because when we were in high school, I'm 51. You're what?
51.
Okay. But I thought you were. I didn't think you were 50 yet.
Yeah.
I thought you were like 48, 49.
No.
But but I remember in high school we had the trades. They learned bricklaying and mechanic, and, learn how to be mechanics.
Used to have Votech.
Yeah, and I think Burton in the area still has some of that, but it's not like it used to be. It's not in the schools. You got to ride a bus over there, and it's just it's kind of a big old hassle to get over there. But they pushed so hard for colleges, and people just aren't learning trades. And honestly, if you go out and learn a trade, you start immediately, and you're 99.9% usually not in debt.
Yeah. I mean, your apprenticeships will cost a little bit, but it usually comes out of your paycheck. So it's money that oftentimes you don't see before you lose it.
And you said the key word there too, though, comes out of your paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're in school learning that stuff or in college, you don't get that paycheck to learn.
Right.
Most of these places, I know that Lineberger Construction used to have some kind of apprenticeship. There are a lot of companies out there that have apprenticeships. You don't start at $50 an hour.
Right.
But you start at $15 to $20 an hour, and you're learning.
But that's something that people need to relearn, or we need to be better parents, grandparents, and get it across to the kids. You're not supposed to start off at what the CEO makes. The CEO gets paid for what he knows a lot more than he gets paid for what he does.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I met a guy the other day that owns a construction company, and he was talking about he was in insurance before, and then now he's in construction. He owns a construction company for the last 10 years or something. And somebody's like, well, do you do? And he's like, no, I'm 45 years old. I don't do any of the work.
Right.
He said,
No,
I started the business and I hired the people that know how to do it.
Right.
And that's typically what, those companies do. You have the knowledge, or you have the money and the capital and the risk.
You take the risk.
And you hire people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% for trades.
Oh, without question. Because I know when I came out here and halfway got out of them, a lot of your kids apparently they don't even teach you how to read a tape measure in high school anymore.
Don't teach any, not a lot. I mean, they teach to the standards of learning, and it's not the teacher's fault. It's the government. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. But I mean, it's 13 and 3 of them little marks. Oh, which marks?
Yeah.
Are
they the little ones or the little longer ones?
16th side?
They don't have a clue anymore about anything. And
but it's not just like it's not the teacher's fault. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
It's the one size fits all concept.
And everybody
that they're being taught to.
Yeah, and everybody learns different.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that because like Carilion, they just did a career day for high school kids.
Okay.
So they got to go and shadow people throughout Carilion. There's a picture on their website that has them standing in front of, a bunch of them standing in front of the helicopter. So they probably got to do the tour. I don't know that insurance-wise they got to ride in the helicopter.
Well, they probably got to sign a waiver and go up. Those options might be going down.
Right.
In the next couple days.
That's right. But also Virginia Technical Institute, they hosted a construction trade experience for like a little camp for teens also.
Okay.
I think it was like 8th through 10th grade or 8th through 11th grade. And you got to go in and for the whole day, or maybe in 4 days or something like that, where you got to go in and actually learn the different trades and what may pique your interest, which,
I like that.
bring it back. I mean,
Without a doubt. I agree.
I think our country has gone way past where we need to be, because if you needed to hire 100 people to do something, we don't have 100 people that know how to do things anymore.
Right.
I don't think.
Well, at the end of the day, they know how to do different things.
Right.
You know, it's not as much difference as I want to make it. At the end, you know, if I'm being honest, you know, we get concerned about how much time we spend on our phones around the kids. We get concerned about how much time the kids spend on their phones. You know, my dad would get off work, come home, and read the paper for an hour
Right.
and a half. You know, it's just a different means. That being said, I forget where I read it, and I think they were trying to be funny, but it made a perfect point. You know, everybody thinks that today's kids are so much smarter and so much better than we were when we were kids. 30 years ago, the owner's manual used to tell you how to set the timing and how to do all this. Now it tells you don't drink the battery acid. You know, so
That'll become a TikTok challenge or something
Exactly.
stupid. I
Yeah.
think we remove all warning labels off of everything and just
Amen.
let
I-
natural
yep.
selection happen. If you
that's why
die,
we
you
didn't-
die.
That's why we didn't have the population bursts back then. One, you had a couple extra diseases that we don't have anymore, and the stupid ones died.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then I think we need to go back to that. And you're exactly right. When I was, young teens, I bought my first car was a 1980 Corolla. So as I purchased that, the first thing I did in that car after going to DMV is when I went to Advanced Auto and picked up the mechanic book for it.
Yep.
And so that if I needed to do anything, I had the book and it told you. Now we have YouTube, which is
Right.
pretty cool. I like watching the video and somebody doing it, and then
without a doubt.
you can pause and so.
Without a doubt. But Chilton's saved a lot of cars.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We talk about us being the peaks and valleys,
Right.
and so we would be wrong if we didn't face those valleys too.
Right.
Last night there were 2 people shot in Northeast Roanoke off of over on Plantation Road.
Okay.
The people are not cooperating, and I don't know why. This stupid violence, and we're seeing it a lot more in the Roanoke area. And actually, it's happening all over the country. It's not just
Right.
Roanoke.
Oh yeah, no, we're late to the show, to be honest.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
But I mean, when we were kids, if you had if you didn't like somebody, or you just fought.
Yeah.
You and that person met in the road or met after school or
Yeah.
wherever, and you beat up each other, and a lot of times
And-
you'd go have a beer afterwards.
I was
if
gonna
you were
say,
old
and
enough.
after when you were a little older, loser has to buy the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
But I think now everybody's just like, hey, I got this gun and
Yeah.
shootings, and most of the time that happens after 12, and we talked about that all the time. But I think at some point the communities have to step up and be like, you know what, we're not taking this anymore. If you're going to do that, you won't be in our community.
Right.
I don't want to
Yeah.
see you do it. If you do, I'm telling the cops exactly who you are.
Right.
And
right.
if you come my way, then you go die.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just we lost a lot of grandmas on the front porch
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, you know better."
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, if I acted a fool down the street, my neighbor was allowed to spank me.
Oh yeah. They were.
Now, not saying we need to go back to that, but some kids do need that.
I was never a baseball guy. I was very much a soccer and wrestling guy.
Uh-huh.
But I think Pop put it the best way. They have permission to pinch hit for me.
Yeah.
But
the problem was you got that whipping from that neighbor, and then when you got home, you got it again.
Right.
And sometimes you get it from your mom, and then it was a wait till your dad gets home, and
Right.
you got it again from the dad. So they definitely kept us in line back then. And I don't know that we need to go back to that part, but something has to happen. And I think some leaders, the leaders in the communities need to step up and be like, you know what, we don't want this in this neighborhood.
Right.
If we catch you doing this,
Right.
then you go to jail.
Right.
or we call the cops or whatever. Our communities have to have those leaders step up and be like, you know what, we're tired of it,
Right.
and
Right.
be done with it.
And the court system has to back those leaders up too.
Yeah.
You know, it does you no good if you call the cops 5 times on this guy and he's out tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, now he's out and pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it not only goes to those community leaders, it goes to the parents.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's our job, no matter what the government says, those are our kids.
Yep.
And it's our job to raise our kids
Right.
to be responsible adults, to not act fools, to not be dumbasses.
I mean, don't let me hide. I've got a list of sketchy stuff I did when I was younger that, probably make a lot of people blush. That being said, 3/4 of the things I didn't do is because I couldn't convince myself that the cops would get to me before Bob did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I think that, we definitely need to step up as communities and change out those leaders if those leaders aren't doing anything. I mean, and you look at some of these bigger leaders, national leaders, they're only there when some money's involved.
Yeah.
And that's not right. If it doesn't, if it hits the national part of it, then they're all about it. But
Right.
if it's some little local person, they don't have anything to do with it. And I think if you're going to be that leader and you're going to be in that national spotlight, you need to make a difference everywhere instead of just when it benefits you to make some money off of it.
Right. Or, try to get some votes that way.
Yeah.
I just, civics, civics is another class that needs to come back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has forgotten, or seems to have forgotten, that you're saying these national guys,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be taken down a couple notches and realize that they get their power from the states.
Yeah.
The states created the federal government, not the other way around.
Right. Yep, I agree. Now we're going to get off this political crap.
Yes, for the love of
so
God,
let's talk
please.
about this green sludge still at Smith Mountain Lake.
Come on, Seth, you haven't given us any information, man.
I know we were hoping
in
that
charge of that.
we were hoping that he was going to jump in there, even with a thong or a Speedo or something, and
Or
just to see if he
something,
was
and a
going to glow.
snorkel.
Yeah, we just wanted to know if he was going to glow or not.
We're not asking you to swallow it. We just need you to get in.
So a lot of the neighborhoods, and I think they have a Smith Mountain Lake Society or whatever there, they've expressed concern to the state and about the green sludge. Evidently, there's nothing that can be done. It's an algae bloom.
Right.
There's nothing that can really be done. There are chemicals that can get rid of it,
but those are as hazardous or more to use.
it's hazardous to the animals and to the plants in the lake.
Right.
So just stay away from the green sludge. I think another thing that's kind of sad, they did the Smith Mountain Lake cleanup this weekend.
Right.
8.8 tons of trash was collected.
Oh wow.
That's a lot more.
That just seems excessive.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of trash. I only did 4 tons of dirt. I'm like, oh, I'm sore.
Right.
But yeah, that's a lot of trash, and it was up like 50% from last year.
Right.
So I don't know if they didn't clean as well or just people were just throwing their crap out in the lake.
Right.
Yeah, that's not right. If you're out there throwing crap in the lake, don't.
Stop it.
That sucks. Don't do that.
And that's not me trying to get on you. It's not him trying to get on you. That's just, another thing of, that's your responsibility.
Yeah, stop throwing crap in the lake.
It only takes, well, apparently 8.8 tons, of people to screw it up for everybody else.
Yeah, that's crazy. We a couple shows ago, we talked about Roanoke not being the last colony.
Right.
The lost
Right.
colony. So when you Google Roanoke, even today when I was like, hey, fun facts for Roanoke. I know a lot of fun facts and we've shared a lot of them, but
Right.
I was trying to see if there was some fun facts I didn't know about Roanoke.
Right.
All
'Cause you never know.
Yeah, all the lost colony stuff came up. And,
Of course.
but Salem has come out and said, the Salem Museum, they have the museum there on Main Street by Longwood Park.
Right.
They've come out and said there are no witches there.
Are they
Because-
sure?
That's what they say.
All right.
And I think that it's the same thing with Salem, Massachusetts
Massachusetts,
to here is they're like,
Yeah.
oh, hey.
And this is not the same Salem of the witch trials.
Yeah, and people do come to the Salem Museum also to look up the lost colony.
Do they?
They do, yeah.
Oh, dear.
They had talked about that too, and they were like, yeah, no, this is about Salem, Virginia.
Right.
We're not the
right.
lost colony. We don't have witches, and we don't have, or if we do, we don't have a museum for them.
Right, exactly. we didn't put that
Yeah,
in there.
you throw out the old Jedi. This is not the Salem you're looking for.
Right.
I don't even know. And then Roanoke College, speaking of Salem, Roanoke College is starting their football team again.
I did hear that.
Yep.
I did hear that.
Starting a football team, and then they're also a marching band
Okay.
and cheerleaders for the football team.
Okay.
And they haven't. I think they've raised 1.1 million or something like that, 1.3 million. But they
Now, what division would they be in?
I think
Do we know?
I think they're 3A, but I have no idea.
Well, we'll
I know
have
they
to
were
check that
used to
up.
be in
That's
the
a thing
they used to be in the
bring up.
ODAC. I
Okay.
don't know if they still are or not.
Okay.
I haven't
mean, I
watched
just
Roanoke
didn't know if
College
it-
anything since my kids have grown up.
Right. I just didn't know if maybe they would be, in the same division as, Appalachian State or
Probably, yeah, probably, and they'll probably. Well, I don't know.
play like the Newport News Apprentice School.
Yeah. I don't know who they play now. If those teams have football teams too, because I know they have an awesome lacrosse team.
Right.
They've won a lot of championships in the sports they have.
Yeah, one of my friends, I think she played field hockey for them.
Okay. I always wanted our kids to play field hockey, but there wasn't a team around unless we sent them to Roanoke Catholic or to North Cross.
Right.
And we didn't have Roanoke Catholic or North Cross kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. We just didn't have that kind of money. And I don't know that I would have spent it if we did, just for
Right.
some field hockey.
Right. Right. If Adidas will do it, if Adidas will do it, do I want to pay Nike money for them cleats?
Mm, That's right. Now, our local National Park Service has issued a bear warning.
Yeah.
We're seeing them everywhere.
Well, and they said they got the parkway ready just in time for the bears to come out of hibernation.
Yeah. Well,
Start their
I
early
drove it a
feeding
couple
season.
weeks ago, and there was so much wildlife on that area because it's been
There
closed for a couple of years.
Right.
And so there's been so much wildlife. I drove and there were deer and wild turkeys, and I was like, oh, that is awesome. And so, yeah,
Good.
they're probably all gone now. But funny story about because we are seeing bears. Somebody Cave Spring area, Williamson Road area, seeing bears. When my oldest son, he'll be 30 this year, but my oldest son was in high school. He played football for Hidden Valley, and there was a boy on his team that played football there too. Well, the mom and dad I grew up with at Salem, so because we went to Salem High School. I grew up with it in Salem, so we were all good friends, and we'd sit together at football. Well, they bought a house up on 12 O'Clock Knob.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, I love 12 O'Clock Knob, the views,
Oh, I do
but I
as
don't want to
well.
drive it in the snow.
Right.
Well, so for like 3 to 4 weeks after they moved in, they 100% kept claiming that their neighbors were racist. And I was like, why? Why would you think that? And they're like, I might come home and there's a cross in it. I mean, they were
Right.
so nervous about that. And the reason being is every night their trash was turned over. I was like, you got a bear? Oh, no, it's not a bear. We don't see bears up there. And I'm like, yeah, there are bears.
Because they come through.
Yeah. So for 3 to 4 weeks, they just complained about how they felt that their neighbors may or may not be racist and all that. Well, one day we got this spell of rain like now,
Right.
and bear paw prints on the top of the trash can. Yeah, neighbors weren't racist.
Good for their neighbors,
That's right. Good for them. I mean, they still live there now, so.
Because you're pretty positive that they're not, but, until there's proof, you kind of got to go, I hope I'm not wrong,
Little Bit says she dares bears to come back to her house.
She does.
So what's going on with bears at your house?
Well, I think it's one towards the top of the hill where we live at.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure where he hangs out when he's not coming by, but he'll go through our trash all the time. But one of my I've got two favorite stories about the bear in Back Creek.
Mm-hmm.
One, that last big snow we got, it's been a couple years back, but we hadn't been there long. And look out there, and sure enough, there's a black bear in our front yard.
Oh, wow.
You know, just kind of walking through, and so you're like, okay, just kind of watching him. And, you know, it's pretty cool, but he gets close enough, and I'm from Newport News. I'm not supposed to be that close to the bear.
Right.
You know, but Mom loves to feed her birds. So got like 2 or 3 different bird feeders out there at the time. As God is my witness, we have one of those that it opens up. It's got a little roof over here that'll keep the food dry.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But Mom would just keep it slam full. As God is my witness, that bear came over, grabbed that bird feeder, and just kind of did this and made himself a little sleeping spot. If I look back in my phone far enough,
Mm-hmm.
I bet I can find the picture of that little bed that he made himself in the snow.
All right.
Just hilarious. And but it wasn't too terribly long after that. He's back in the front yard. He done found his favorite spot to eat.
I'd almost put a ring out there, and just so you can see the bear.
Right. Well, we've got rings out there now. Not rings, blinks.
Okay.
But hilarious. I'm watching him or her. I haven't asked. I haven't gotten close enough to check. You know, but it's a big old bear.
Oh, wow.
And, yep. We were waiting and waiting. We didn't want to open the door and let Rex out
Mm-hmm.
to go potty while the bear's out front.
Right.
That could go bad.
Right.
You know. So Mary opens the door. You know, bear looks at her, and she just snaps her fingers. Go on, get. As God is my witness, that bear just kind of looked at her, and then started walking right on up the hill.
Oh, wow.
So Mary don't take any crap in her.
Married a
front
bear
yard.
whisperer.
Yeah.
Then. Maybe she'd come over to my house when we pulled in last night. Had to show a house out in Blue Ridge.
Okay.
The house itself needed a lot of work.
Oh, is that the one with the barn?
Yeah,
You were telling me
the
about?
barn was gorgeous. I mean, it needed some wood to it, but the barn itself was gorgeous. And I put it on my TikTok, I think this morning maybe. But yeah, I mean, it was wide open, and you could see like the old, the house was built in 1924.
Right.
And so you could see like the old beams and everything.
Oh,
and I can't
wow.
imagine what it took to build that.
They don't build them like that anymore.
They don't. They just kind of cut corners.
And that's not talking crap about the builders. It's new codes, different,
Well, our wood's not the same.
Exactly.
I mean, if you look at the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s woods, the 2x4s and stuff, our 2x4s are smaller
Right.
because they have the trees grow faster, and
Right.
So yeah, our 2x4s are a lot smaller than they were back then too.
Right.
I think they were legit 2x4s back then.
Well, and I think it varied a little more back then because there wasn't
The exact cuts
QC,
and
QA,
Mhm. Yeah.
Back then. So you're going to build something and you decided it was going to be 2 inches. It comes in 2 1/4 or 1 3/4,
Mhm.
and now your whole plan is screwed.
Mhm.
So I think they just went
Back-
to a
Back then you just
to a
you just
standard.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then you just put it together how you can. And talking about putting stuff together, we had talked about what's it called? The Fishburn,
the coffee house.
the coffee house.
Yeah.
It's back in play.
Yes, I did hear about that. Did they pass what they needed to?
No, they have come up
Okay,
and
because there's a couple amendments to the. that were up to
the
vote.
bigger amendment is that .6 is going to be for the coffee shop, and then .5 will still stay green space.
Okay.
And then if they
Gotcha.
ever sell, it goes back to the city or something like that.
City has
But-
first right of refusal.
Mhm. But they have to go back and redraw up whatever offer they're doing or whatever.
Gotcha.
You have to start, not the process all over again, but they have to
Right.
go in and do a new offer and say, hey, this is what we want
Right.
to do. I mean, even though they don't
Which
get the
is-
whole space.
Which probably means a little less parking, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because that area needs a good down-home coffee shop.
Yeah, I don't think we have one in that area. We have a couple Starbucks and.
Not everybody is married to Starbucks, though, you know?
Yeah, let me tell you, that Starbucks. So my wife can't have caffeine. It makes her jittery, makes her sick.
Right.
She can have a little bit, but, not a lot. So she usually gets a decaf coffee,
Okay.
which, I'm not decaf.
Right.
I think I have caffeine
Lack
going
of-
through my blood.
Well, lack of caffeine gives me all those same
Yeah, that's right.
symptoms.
So she went to Starbucks, the new one over there in Oak Grove yesterday,
Okay.
and she puts these protein drinks in her coffee, and it's like creamer. And so, whatever flavor it is, and she just puts the protein drink in there. It's kind of like breakfast, and it makes the
Okay.
coffee creamer. So she gets in the drive-through and asks for a decaf, like the grande, whatever the middle size is called.
Right.
Asks for a decaf coffee on ice in a tall glass, but just wanted the medium. She just wanted the extra ice so she could pour her protein drink in there. Yeah. The lady wanted to, we don't have decaf coffee. We have Americana. And my wife's like, okay, whatever's decaf. Well, you do know that there's nothing that just has no caffeine in it. And just a whole preaching thing about it. And my wife's like, you know what? Never mind.
Right, yeah.
She will not go back to that Starbucks now. That person not only lost the sales, but lost a customer because my wife drives by there every day.
Yeah.
She don't get coffee there every day. But-
and now she won't get there another day.
Yeah, no. But wanted to argue about what had caffeine and what doesn't, and
Yeah.
Just give me something decaf.
Right.
If it has a label that says, I don't care what's in it, it says decaf.
Tell you what, give me the least caffeinated you got.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We have, and a lot of people don't know this, but we're just 45 minutes away from Mountain Lake.
Yes.
They have announced, and I don't know how I feel about it, but they've announced a sequel to Dirty Dancing.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I don't even know that they still even, is the lake filled there? Is it still just a field?
You know, to be honest, I haven't driven by there in quite some time.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, they're doing a
I mean,
sequel to Dirty Dancing.
When you move here, it's almost mandatory that you drive by there because the first thing you hear when you move to Roanoke is, yeah, they filmed Dirty Dancing right down the road.
Mhm.
Get in the car.
I think I've only been there maybe once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've lived here all my life. Now there's a cave that's up near Mountain Lake. It's called Pig's Hole. I don't know if they still have it open or not. I was in the middle of a cow pasture.
Of course.
And when I was a teen, I was in like a outdoors camp for the summers.
Right.
And so we would, one or two times a summer, we would go up to Pig's Hole. And it was a 180-foot rappel into the mouth of the cave.
Oh, wow.
And then at the end of the cave, so you went through a couple places. There's like a mud bridge that you had to actually tie off because you couldn't see the bottom.
Right.
And so you had to tie off in case you fell. And then when you came out in a manhole on the other side of the cow pasture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. But yeah, so you would rappel, and so halfway down,
Don't take delinquent kids out there. That's a bad idea.
they probably don't come back. It may be good or bad. But you had like 100-foot like part of the wall, and then you had to kick off the wall, and then the rest of it was just a free rappel. You're just hanging from the rope, letting yourself down into the cave. It's a great experience, but I don't know how I feel about a Dirty Dancing. I think they're running out of stuff to make movies about.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because I heard Beetlejuice 2 is supposed to come out next year, too.
Yeah, it just
Which I loved Beetlejuice. I think I like most all the actors I remember from it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys.
We watched Beetlejuice the other day. Yeah, we watched Beetlejuice the other day. So,
Because, I mean, who the hell is Baby? Now Baby's going to put somebody else in a corner.
yeah. And does that person say nobody puts Baby's kid in a corner?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And a lot of the girls, now ladies, that got hooked on that movie, you're not gonna you're not going to replace Patrick Swayze. I don't care who you put in that spot. The girls are not coming for Patrick Swayze's replacement.
No, I don't think so either. Especially girls our age that remember it
Yeah.
and love that movie.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Salem Fair.
Starts Wednesday.
That's a good thing for our economy locally.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just bad. I mean, just the crowds that come with it. I really couldn't live over by the Civic Center when the fair comes through.
No.
The fair's coming June 28th through the 9th.
Nice.
Several times they'll usually have fireworks almost every other night. Yeah, they have some kind of fireworks to end the night and stuff.
Because I think the Salem Red Sox hold off any fireworks displays after their games during the Salem Fair.
They do, and that's a hard thing right there too, to find parking if you're going to the Salem Red Sox game and not the fair.
Yeah, if you plan on going to the fair, check the Red Sox schedule.
Yeah.
Don't go those nights.
Because the parking is just crazy.
Yes.
I'm kind of upset. I mean, they've listed the vendors and pig races and all that.
Right.
They have not listed what kind of foods they're going to have, and I don't know if they ever did.
Right.
I mean, I haven't been to the fair since probably 25 years. So.
Well, I mean, they usually at least have some kind of ad going, hey, we're trying this new fad food.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe fairs aren't having fad foods anymore.
Deep fried rubber tires or some crap like that.
Deep fried flip-flop.
That's right. But we have our Salem bingo card we're working on. Hopefully we'll have it rolled out by next show. I know. I think Wednesday the fair opens up, and so hopefully by then we'll be able to announce something. Definitely check us out on Facebook or somewhere, and we'll have the announcement of what the prizes are. And what'll happen is if you get bingo, I'll have a form that you kind of give your information, and then
Google form.
Yeah, a little Google form that you'll tell us who you are a little bit. We don't need your social and all that crap.
Right.
We're not going to telemarket you. It's just who we know how to make the prize. Who to make the prize to.
Right.
And then there'll be a way for you to upload your proof. So we are asking for photos. If it's
right.
little kid with a mullet.
Want a picture of a little kid with a mullet.
Yeah,
and don't go growing a mullet at the house. I want to see a picture of them at something at the Salem Fair.
Yeah, my wife, I've tried to get her to let me get a mullet. She won't let me get a mullet.
Oh, really?
I think I could rock a mullet.
Oh,
I'd be okay with a mullet.
I think you'd be hot with a mullet.
Yeah, no mullets for me. I even tried tonight, and last night I parted my hair in the middle.
Right.
She wouldn't even go with that either. I was like, as Moses parted the Red Sea, I parted my hair. Yeah,
she did not find the humor.
She did not find the humor.
Come on.
I was trying to bring sexy back.
I tried the wings for like 2 years. It was not a good. It was not a good.
Oh, in 7th grade, I had those wings going, and my hair was down to my shoulders.
Right.
I was a hot mess.
Yeah. I think I was still blonde then.
I was because of sun in.
Right.
Yeah, that helped a lot. And it's not funny. I don't think the sub that went out to look at the Titanic, the Titan.
Right.
I don't think they found it, and I think they know that they've kind of run out of air now.
Well, last I heard, they had a debris field that they found.
Okay.
About 1,600 foot.
Okay.
From the bow.
Okay. No bodies, but I think the memes on TikTok have killed me, and I've compiled a list of like 3 or 4 of these memes, and my wife said it
Some
imploded.
Get interesting.
She said that that it imploded.
Yeah, they said the water column had to have imploded.
Okay.
For what they found.
Yeah, that's crazy. The billionaires going. Didn't they learn from the Titanic?
Yep. Well, somebody did say, here's my waiver. I do feel bad for the people that went down. I feel bad for their families, and I feel bad for the CEO of this company that, we've all done jobs that are dangerous, and 998 times out of 1,000 it goes great, but you got those 2 that make the news.
Yeah.
And now he's broke. That being said, some of these are hilarious.
They are.
Says the Titanic after 111 years, still taking rich people to the
Mhm.
bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, they've been really funny. And let's see, is this one that I don't have? Yes. All right, so we're gonna play a couple of these and we'll chat.
If they wanted to take a shower before their descent. They all replied, "No, we'll just wash up on the beach."
Let's go to Lowe's and put together a rescue sub. Perfect. We need thrusters. This'll work. And a portal. Beautiful. How about a toilet? That'll be good enough. Need a camera.
Those are just, they're funny.
Oh yeah.
And I think if dude wants to do his rescue sub, he could try it out in my pool.
Right.
And then,
right.
Eventually
Test it
it'll
out.
sink and he'll roll
Right.
on out down to the fence maybe.
Right. If dude makes it, that is Seth's ride to the algae.
Yes. I wonder if Seth could do his little sub in the.
Nice. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
I think he'll definitely
We are
glow
now,
in the dark.
Actually, we can't depend on him. We are now taking donations to build our own little submarine to get Seth to the bottom. Check out this algae bloom.
Yep, absolutely. And hopefully he'll be able to get to the bottom of it,
Exactly.
or at least the bottom of the lake.
that I think he can find.
Now, I don't know. Unfortunately, Seth was in a car wreck.
I did see that.
Everybody's good, but it looked like he had run into somebody and then somebody ran into him,
Or vice versa.
somebody ran into him and then
And
pushed him into somebody else. So I don't know what happened, but I wouldn't want him to do that same thing to our sub. Because he ain't gonna make it if he's at the bottom of the lake.
But I weigh too damn much to get in that sub. We ain't never getting it back.
Yeah, I'll end up getting wedged.
That's why I'm.
Yeah.
That's why I'm behind Seth getting in.
Yeah, I would end up getting wedged, and that would not be a good thing at all. Be like, get the Vaseline, I can't get in there. So yeah, not good. This weekend, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's some good movies in the movie theater too.
Are there?
Mm-hmm. Some good movies. My daughter is going to start doing a little movie section at our shows, and so she's going to do family type movies, or kid movies, and kind of give her review.
She's 11.
She's 11. Yeah. So we're not going to have her review it or anything like that. She's not that kid.
Right.
I would have liked. I loved it. I mean, it wasn't around, but like the Friday the 13th and all those, I love those. But she's not that kid that likes the horror films and stuff. So she's going to start doing a little, it's called Tegan, or Popcorn Perspective with Tegan.
Okay.
And
Nice.
so she's going to start doing that weekly on any new movies that are out in the theater, and then any new movies that may hit like Netflix or something like that.
Okay.
So we're going to roll that and let you guys see her little reviews, and we'll come back on the back side of that.
All right.
Welcome to Popcorn Perspectives with Tegan. As you probably guessed, I'm Tegan. Whether you like animated films, superheroes, or magical adventures, I've got you covered. Each week, we're going to be discovering some movies in the movie theaters for kids and family. So grab a chair and some popcorn and let's dive right in. One of the newest movies in the theaters is Elemental. There's a city with 4 elements: air, fire, water, and land. There are a fire and water element that figure out that they have a lot in common. I really want to see this movie because I want to see how a water and a fire element can get along. Another movie in the movie theaters is The Little Mermaid. I actually got to see this one, and it's just like the animated one, but it is live action. And one reason why I did like it is because there's a new song called The Scuttlebutt. It's actually kind of a rhyme. And one reason why I don't like it is it's a bit intense, but not too intense for the little kids. And then in 2024, which I'm really excited about, is that there's going to be a live action of Snow White. Another movie coming out in the theaters is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Universe. We continue to Spider-Man, and he goes through a portal into a Spider-Man universe, and I kind of want to see this, and I kind of don't. The reason why I kind of don't is because there's too many Spider-Mans in the universe, and one reason why I do want to see it is because there's a Spider Kitty. Another movie in the theaters is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And this is supposed to be their last battle. And this one should kind of be for the older kids because it does have a bit of language in it. And one thing that I did notice when I watched the trailer is that Groot did get a bit thicker. My favorite character is Rocket because he is small but tough. Really kinda don't want to see the movie because I'm not a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. The last movie I'm going to talk about in the theaters is Transformers: The Rise of the Beasts. The Autobots and Optimus Prime go on their biggest mission yet to destroy all the enemies on the planet. I do not want to see it because I am not a big fan of Transformers, and it just looks kind of intense to me. But there is one of my favorite vehicle in the Transformers, a Volkswagen. Well, that's it for today's adventure. Hopefully you had as much fun as I did. Share this with your friends. Make sure to hit that like button and keep that popcorn popping.
That was her first time doing anything like that. I mean, she'll walk around the house with her little phone and do little videos, but
Right.
that was her first time ever doing anything like that.
I like that. Keep the popcorn popping.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's a great tagline right there.
Well, she's obsessed with popcorn.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get those big family boxes of popcorn,
Right.
and like 2 weeks gone, easy. I mean, it's like, could I have some popcorn? Every day it's popcorn.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I think that's an awesome tagline that she's come up with.
And we're trying to hook up something in our front yard. You've seen our front yard.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the projector screen hung.
Okay.
Maybe one time, once we get all the cardboard boxes and everything, maybe we'll have to have her over and preview the movie. Before.
Not Transformers or Guardians.
Yeah, no. I have to take back something I said earlier. Not really take it back, but I rethought it during her little preview. If they're still making Spider-Man movies and still making Transformers movies, you know what? Bring Dirty Dancing back.
That's right. Well, and I think the Transformers still have they've evolved and you still kind of have a story there. But I think Spider-Man and I don't know backgrounds, and a lot of these people out here know Peter Parker's aunts, cousins, uncles, brothers,
Right.
Who they're married to,
Right.
or whatever. And I don't know all of that, but I think that the Spider-Mans have gone just way out in the left field with the different multiverses, and
Right.
you can't keep up with any of it.
No.
I like the old Peter Parker.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Mary Jane, Peter Parker.
Yeah,
You know.
and the was it the aunt? Is it aunt or? Because at one time it was a grandma or something, and then it was an aunt, and then it was like a young hot aunt there for a little bit.
My granddaughter would know, but
Yeah, so I think that I think they need to bring that back to basics.
yeah. I just, everybody got so hung up in them that there had to be so much information involved.
Mhm.
And once you get too deep into something, I just start losing
Mhm.
interest. I really
And
do.
Disney, and I think it's weird too, because Disney, I think, owns some of the rights to some of the Spider-Mans, and then Sony has some of the rights to some of the Spider-Mans, and
Of
it's
course
just
they do.
it's just way too much. I think Guardians of the Galaxy, I love those movies because
I've only seen the first one, and I actually liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to.
I think the sense of humor is very dry,
Yeah.
and that's my sense of humor
Well,
can be very dry.
They caught me with Trash Panda.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, now I got to watch the rest of this movie. This is hilarious.
Evidently, in 3, he actually saves a bunch of little baby He realizes that he's a raccoon,
Okay.
and he saves a bunch of baby raccoons.
Oh,
So
nice.
that are in like a lab where he was or something. I don't know.
gotcha.
That I got all that off of just the trailer. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but there are a lot of things going on in this area over the weekend. There's the Star City Motor Madness, and
I love that every year, and they haven't had it for a couple years. I don't know if they brought it back last year.
I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not sure at all. There's a Lacrosse Star City Invitational. It's called the 460 Lacrosse Star City Invitational.
Okay,
That's
okay.
happening throughout the area
like lacrosse.
in different lacrosse fields. I didn't think I was going to like lacrosse, but my oldest son and then my second daughter, I don't know, I got 6 kids, so there's no middle kid. She used to be the middle child, but,
Right.
they played lacrosse.
She was the middle child 3 kids ago.
Yeah, and so I loved watching them play lacrosse. Now, boys lacrosse is a lot more physical than the girls lacrosse.
Right.
But no, to watch somebody set a pick and just knock somebody on their butt,
Right.
that's good times right there. I'm all about the physicalness
Oh,
part.
without
Yeah. There's Salem Red Sox are playing. Salem After 5 is this weekend.
And that Salem After 5 thing is definitely worth checking out.
Mhm. It's a
I
fun
love it.
time if you
Yeah.
like live music, and they usually have
And
food
they usually
vendors
have
there.
like a farmer's market kind of thing going on.
Mhm.
You know.
One of my favorites, and I haven't been, but it's the 15th annual Lavender Festival.
Okay.
It's a farm. I think it's in the Floyd area, but I love lavender. I have a hard time growing it in my house.
Right.
I think mine's in the shade, and I water it too much, and I don't think it likes all that.
Right.
I know that like my thyme and stuff, they don't like water either, but it's a lavender festival, and there's all kinds of health benefits, and you go up there and you're allowed to pick like the bundles of lavender, and
Oh, wow. Okay.
and I think they have some music and stuff like that, so it seems kind of fun. There's the slow pitch national championships, World Cup slow pitch
Okay.
championships coming. I think they probably miss Moyer Field over in Salem, where they're redoing that field.
Right.
Because I know a lot of those slow pitch softball tournaments happen
to
there. I
happen there.
remember as a young adult, I don't have the body to do it anymore. My arms and legs, and
Right.
I don't even know if I could run to first base without getting.
I think
out
I
of
could make it to
breath.
first base, but I'd have to hit a home run after that.
Oh, absolutely. There's Megan Maroney at Dr. Pepper
Dr.
Park.
Pepper.
Sold out. So if you don't have tickets, somebody will sell theirs on Facebook that can't go.
Right.
So
Right.
you'll be able to find those. This was pretty cool. There's a fairy garden at the Explore Park.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't think we have the grandkids this weekend, but because the girls are all about fairies.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have a little fairy set up in our front yard that we're not allowed to cut or anything like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
We had a fairy thing in our like we have an old flower bed in the backyard. We had that set up as fairy, and then the rain and the mud and
Yeah.
just made it look nasty. And so then we had it set up underneath our deck But now we have like furniture and stuff under the deck that we're trying to paint, and that's become unfortunately, and I'm 100% guilty on this, it's kind of become a catch-all.
Right.
So
right.
as I'm doing yard
Well-
work, it kind of goes onto a shelf, and as I'm trying to get better, but
Well, and we lucked out. In our front yard, there is this extremely random, for no apparent reason, little patch of concrete.
okay.
So that's where the fairy garden is, because we don't cut concrete, you
Right.
know.
Did y'all paint the concrete?
We have not.
Oh, that'd be a good activity for them.
That probably would.
I watched a thing on TikTok, everything TikTok,
Right.
but they took a glass, and maybe we'll play it next week. They took like a piece of paper that looked like stained glass, like a picture that had the stained glass lines or whatever.
Right.
And they put a piece of glass over it and took 3D or the puff glue or the puff paint
Okay.
and did the outlines of like where the what do they use, copper or
Oh, the little, yeah.
yeah, the little silver or
separation.
whatever, the separation. So they did the puff glue on that, or the puff paint on that. And then they took food coloring and used clear glue and made the different glue colors. And then
wow.
once that 3D glue, once that 3D glue dried, then they went back in there with that, or the paint or whatever it is. They went back in with that colored glue and colored in the different
Oh.
sections, and they just used like a Dollar Tree frame with the glass, and took out the little, the back picture that's somebody's family.
Right.
I got a
Not
story
mine,
about
right.
that, but somebody's family,
Right.
and so then they put it back in the frame, and they could hang it, and it looked like stained glass.
Oh, nice.
It was beautiful. And speaking of the people in pictures, when my kids were younger, we'd go to DC every 4th of July. We had friends that lived up there, and so we'd go up there and we'd go to Leesburg to see the fireworks, and never to downtown DC.
Right. Good call.
That's a madhouse. But our friends bought this like blow up pool for the
Right.
backyard because it was
Okay.
hot and the kids could play in it and stuff.
Right.
And I had their son, and he was probably like 5 or 6 at the time. I had their son worried to death that the family that was on the pool was coming to swim. Because I was like, yeah, that's their pool, and they'll be here later to swim. And so the whole time, anytime a car rode by, he would kind of look just to see,
that
is
look
that
like
is that those people? And so he was worried to death those people are going to show up to take their pool back or
Yeah,
to
not
swim.
enough people in that car. We're good. We're good.
No, not at all. Star Hill Pilot Brewery, they have music all weekend. There's a Mingle the Market with Mended Fences, and then Star City Motor Madness after party.
Oh.
And the Works are playing there.
Okay.
So, and they sound pretty good.
Yeah, they're not bad. I know when they played Rosie's,
Mhm.
you could barely get to a machine.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they bring a good
They'll-
crowd.
They'll
Most
pack the
definitely.
house.
You have anything else for this week?
I don't think so. I don't
Rain's
think so.
supposed to
This-
stop Tuesday, I think.
Oh, thank God.
I think Sunday we have a lax in the rain, but and then Monday, Tuesday it's raining again. But I think it's supposed to stop, and then warmer temperatures because we were hitting almost second winter. It feels like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know it was like 56 when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, my plants do not like
In
56.
June 22.
Yeah. My plants don't like that, but my green beans, man, I probably need to go pick them in the rain.
Right.
Yeah, I probably got a bunch of green beans out there. You can see them through I have netting over my plants in the
Right.
front because when we pulled in last night, deer
Oh,
just
yeah.
sitting in our yard staring at us.
Oh, yeah.
We got out of the car and he just stood there and just kept
Oh,
staring.
yeah, they're eating everything in our front yard.
Yep. They're eating we have a meadow, for lack of a better word, in the front yard with some medicinal plants and like yarrow and borage and stuff. But then we have like black-eyed Susans and things like that, and they're
Right.
eating the tops off of everything they can.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plants are we put in the boxes, but they keep eating every other box.
Mhm.
And our God, what's the name of them? Succulents.
Mhm.
Yep, they're almost gone.
Yeah, they eat everything. But yeah, I don't know. Somebody told me that if you got a bug zapper
Right.
and hung it in a tree, and you can get the ones now that are solar, that they don't like the bug zappers because the bugs will go zzz, zzz, and so it kind of scares. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what I'll try, because I've got squash and zucchini,
I've got
you
a
know,
bug
that's
zapper
getting ready to
on
come
the
up,
front,
and
on the front porch.
and the deer's still out there.
Yeah. But ours is just wide open too, so.
Maybe we just get a big freezer and sit in the window and just pick them off.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I know a guy that has a.
And if they keep eating Mary's plants out front, she gonna let us.
We'll just.
She doesn't wanna
Eat 'em.
eat it, but you can take them out.
Yep. Oh yeah. She don't know. She won't.
Gotcha.
They don't always know it's deer. I've had people come over and we've had deer roast before, and they're like, "This is such a good roast," and I'm like, "Well, thanks." And they're like, "Yeah, and it's cattle."
Right.
Oh, speaking of that, one last thing. So the FDA,
That face just looks like this is gonna be a great story.
yeah, it is. So the FDA, and I'm going to try to find this real quick. I did save it. Let's see here. So I did save it on here, but evidently the FDA, and I'm sure the USDA is part of that also, but they have come out and approved chicken. They have approved. Here we go. We're going to download. Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me save it.
Lab grown
Yeah.
meat.
So
Nice.
the FDA has approved lab grown chicken, and there are two companies out in California. And what they do is they have these big tanks that they start some kind of chicken cells. Now I don't know if it's true, but a couple people said they use like a cancer cell because they multiply faster than a regular cell.
Right.
And so these big tanks, and they're getting, I don't even know how, boneless, like it looks like boneless chicken breasts
No.
out of these.
That's why I don't do nuggets and strips. I don't know what part of the chicken that's from.
Right, right. And so the FDA has approved it. Yeah, bring it on. You can sell it now. And so coming to a grocery store near you, if they haven't already rolled it out, because they're planning on ramping up that production, you may or may not have real meat. To me, that's not real meat.
Right. I'm with you.
And to me, that just makes it all the reason why you buy local.
Yeah.
I mean, we get our beef local. Our chicken, for the most part, is local. If not, we do go to Fresh Market to get some of theirs sometimes. But most of our pork's local. Yeah, we try to buy local. So if you need a local connection for local meat that isn't grown out of a tub,
Right.
then
If you want actual cows.
oh, Mary,
Actual chicken.
I won't tell you whether it's deer or not. She said, she goes, she will know. And then she goes, and if you think that you might trick me, I'm not eating it at your house. I won't tell you. We just gonna feed it to you. So, but yeah, I can't eat that type.
Lab-grown
And there's, I haven't read anything, and I've read a bunch of articles on it. I haven't read anything to where they have to say this is bioengineered chicken.
Right.
And so that's wrong. And what it is, it's supposed to do away with the climate change and all the slaughtering of animals and
All the cow farts.
because they can grow it. And guess who's one of the biggest funders of this?
Is it Bill?
It's Bill. Yeah, Bill Gates.
It's always Bill.
And he's already, whatever other companies he's funding, they've already figured out how to put the MNRAs in vegetables.
Right.
There's I think, where was it? It may have been Utah or Wyoming. There's a plant somewhere. They figured out how to take like vegetables and they squeeze it, like the leaves or whatever, and they
Right.
put it in some kind of press, and it pulls out all the moisture, and then they put back the moisture with the MNRA in it, so that when you're eating that, you're
Right.
getting whatever vaccine they want you to have or whatever medicines they want you to have
Gotcha.
from that. If you need help learning how to garden, reach out
Call
to
us.
me. If I can't help you, I've got friends that can. I actually have a friend, she'll come and help you set up your garden, tell you the best spots to put stuff. It's time to go back. It used to be patriotic to have your own garden and your own chickens
Right.
and all that.
For your neighborhood. or
Yeah,
what have you.
now it's, the USDA is like, hey, if you have a garden, you can register. We want you to register it on our site.
Yeah.
For me, if the crap hits the fan, I go on that site. I can see where I can get my food from.
Right.
Or
and again, we were getting off the political part, but I still say bring back civics. The federal government gets their power from the states. Make your state people do their job.
that's 100%. And then Mary said if she comes to the house, she gonna just stick with veggies. Maybe I cooked the veggies in deer broth.
Stop upsetting my wife. I'm going home.
I know. I was gonna joke and be like, "Do you know that JR has served you deer?" But I'm not gonna go there because you have to sleep on my couch. And the cats get a little rowdy at nights, and you won't get much sleep. And then you'll wake up with Tegan staring at you, going, "Hey, JR."
When did you get here?
So yeah, no. But listen, if you are looking to move to the area and want to talk about the area, talk about whether this is the right move for you or not, hit one of us out. Mary just said she's out. Sorry. Hit one of us up. We'd love to talk to you about the area. This area is not for everybody. If you like the outdoors, this is the area for you.
Oh, without a doubt.
We have a ton
the
of live
trails in the
music. If you're wanting some of the bigger name music, probably not here, but we're within a couple hours of seeing the bigger name people in music. But
Yeah, between Richmond, Charlotte.
yeah, we have live music every weekend, it seems like. That's why Seth's kind of, he's going to join us as kind of a guest host.
When tour season.
Yeah. I mean, go make your money. He's good at what he does,
that's right.
and
That's
I don't blame him one bit.
Not
And
even a
so
little.
we've got this table on wheels, and we'll just spin it around when Seth can join us, and,
That's right.
and we'll have a good
Get
time.
him
And
on that side of you.
if not, you get to look at these two ugly mugs each week, but we're gonna have a good time. If you liked what you heard today, give us some likes, subscribe, share it with your friends. Whether you think we're stupid or not, just watch us because you think we're stupid.
I've been called worse.
Me too. Yeah, I was called somebody. Oh, the other night at the bar, they were, where I bartend at McAdoo's a couple
Right.
days a week. Somebody was straight up John. It's like, hey, John, can I get another? And they come all the time. And I was like, what? And then his girlfriend or whatever, she's like, yeah, his name's not John. And then she thought whatever she thought it wasn't right either.
Yeah, John, that's Chuck.
Yeah, whatever she thought my name was, it wasn't that either. And I'm like, oh, well, you know what? It doesn't matter what you call me. Just tip.
That's right.
Just tip me.
Just tip your waitresses
And don't
bartenders.
cause drama because I hate drama. And my grandmother, when I was a kid, and she always called me Bobby.
Okay.
I never ever went by Bobby. In high school and younger, I was Robbie. And there's still a lot of my older friends that I know, I'm still Robbie to them.
Gotcha.
And so it's weird to hear that, and they're like, Robbie. But yeah, I'm like, oh. But my grandmother called me Bobby, and when I was like 16, she looked at me and she goes, I know your name's not Bobby, but that's what I call you. And I never corrected her because it's wrong to correct your grandma.
Right.
But yeah, so I never corrected her.
Right.
So, but listen, hey, thank you for watching tonight. Hopefully you had fun. It's just going to get better. Have a great night and peace.